What is up, geeks and nerds everywhere? Welcome to another episode of the Galaxy of Geeks podcast live. Welcome. And really want to say thank you so much for joining us live right here, right now. And a big thank you to everybody that will take the time to watch the replay of this and also listen to the audio version later on. We really appreciate you and really thank you so much. If you could take a quick moment to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, or like and share this episode, that would be a big help. And of course, if you're listening to this anywhere on whatever podcast subscription service that you listen to, if you could throw us a subscribe on there too, that would be awesome. So that way you get notified every single time we drop a new episode, either the audio version, or if you're following us on video, you could get a new episode when we go live. Also, we do have the Galaxy of Geeks Facebook group if you'd like to join us there daily, where there's about 200 members, 200 strong fans, all sharing and dropping knowledge and dropping fun stuff, and we're all having a great time every single day in that group. So if you want to join that group for free, come on in there. It's Galaxy of Geeks group on Facebook. So with that, let's get into it, man. We got a good show. We got a lot of stuff coming up. This is a big week. Absolutely, it's a big week. Getting some big drops coming on, and we've got Snyder Cut, which dropped today. Which as of the recording, this is it's Thursday, March 18th, and the Snyder Cut has dropped at HBO Max, and already getting some quick reviews. And I know people in the group are already starting to post some quick opinions on it, which is cool. And then also tomorrow, which will be Friday, March 19th. Well, I guess for you, it's a few hours from now. Right. For us here in the States, it's going to be a little bit more. But we're getting the Falcon and Winter Soldier is dropping, which is very exciting. Going right from WandaVision with that stunning finale right into Falcon and Winter Soldier show. Winter Soldier show. Wow, that's actually Winter Soldier show.
Yeah, that's that's a new thing that's happened. That happened in the Northeast with all the snow. You had Winter Shoulder.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Winter shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, I know that you had a lot of fun with snow this year.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think I've left a string of curses that are still rolling around the stratosphere here in New Jersey.
That's funny. So yeah. You quickly mentioned the whole the whole Justice League thing. Still people are reeling from last week we actually mentioned it, that there's talk of Justice League 2 and 3. And my question to everyone out there is,
do you bleed?
the very classic, do you bleed? Do you bleed?
Well, it was either that or
I love the drops. I'm going to just tell everybody right now, Victor spent a long time this week cataloging a lot of good audio drops. He's curating. So that's also another thing to do. If there are certain audio drops you would like to hear more of on the show, please leave them in the comments, and we will try to use them. But you are being very careful, because we're trying to make sure that we don't get any we don't get sued for anything.
Yes, I was for example, I was looking up Game of Thrones quotes. And I was like, oh, the Hound had a lot of good stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Chris told me we got to stay away from swears, monetization, And then like top 10 best quotes by the Sandor Clegane. F-bomb, F-bomb, F-bomb.
Well, we can bleep it.
Yeah, well, it was.
And boom goes the dynamite.
So I decided to stay away from it. So,
well, all right. Well, that's okay. Well, we've got some other good choice sound drops. So
yes, absolutely. So Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Boom. Falcon and Winter Soldier. So here we go. We've got first episode dropping on Disney Plus tomorrow, and very excited about it. I mean, the trailers have all looked good. And from what I understand is that this timeline is supposed to be running concurrent with WandaVision.
Okay.
Now, if that's not true, I'm sure somebody will chime in the comments and let me know what's true and what's not true. But that's what I initially heard at least a couple weeks ago.
Right. Well, I haven't read any of the reviews. All I've read so far, or like the headlines are kind of like, this is more of what we expected. And this is going to give us, like, I guess, insight into like some of the characters. So instantly, I'm guessing that they're going to go into Baron Zemo and kind of explain more of what he's about, because I mean, he's a character.
Right.
Back in the day, he got his own Secret Wars figure, so he's a prominent figure in the whole Marvel universe. Maybe not as big as a Doctor Doom or someone like that, or a Galactus or whatnot, but I think he's one of the classic, villains that have been in the Marvel, story arcs over the years. So,
yeah, I did hear that it sounds like we're going to get his origin story in the series. So we'll get a little more Baron Zemo background.
Okay.
Because, I mean, he is from Sokovia.
Right.
So we do have that tie-in as well.
Yeah. So I guess we'll be getting flashbacks.
Your favorite?
Yes.
Your favorite thing? Well, okay. So how many? Well, this is 6 episodes, right? Am I?
Yes.
Okay. So
an hour. They're like 50. They're all over 50 minutes. So they're all pushing an hour. And what Feige said, which we mentioned in one of the previous episodes, is that it's essentially like watching 6 hours worth of a movie. So I mean, you could look at it as being 3 movies that are broken up into 6 episodes, and they didn't do more because they couldn't afford to do more, basically. There's already, due to WandaVision, they've already talked about, will there be a season 2 before this has even started? And, I guess we need to get through this first, because also I think we have to figure out is, where do, Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, and Sam Wilson, Falcon, end up after this? I mean, because I think, much like The Mandalorian, some of these series will probably, some of these characters will probably stay on Disney Plus for the most part, and others will, continue on. Like Wanda, obviously, is going to be in at least Doctor Strange.
And it sounds like Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, and Spider-Man 3. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know that they've already rumored that there could be a possible season 2 where they incorporate Black Widow. But again, I mean, this hasn't even started yet, so yeah. I don't know. I think it could be exciting, and I think we should also kind of think about the prospect that maybe a continuation of the storyline doesn't have to be 6 hours. Maybe we could just get a Disney Plus movie that's 2 hours that continues this storyline down the road. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities now, right, via streaming, where it doesn't have to be your typical, vehicle.
No, I think that's a really great point too, because I mean, I think now as we're seeing proof of concepts, right? So Mandalorian was the first of the series, let's say, and I'm not gonna take anything away from the Netflix series. I'm putting those in a different category right now. We're talking about the Disney Plus stuff, because none of that was connected to the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right. The Star Wars, but Mandalorian is connected to the Star Wars universe. It's considered canon. And so I think that was the litmus test, and it passed, right? Season 1, great. Then season 2 dropped, another huge, went up a notch, and even indoctrinated even more canon into it by bringing in some classic characters, not only from Clone Wars and Rebels, but also also the big, the big Luke Skywalker moment too at the end. Spoiler, but I mean, at this point, I mean, come on. So if you're listening to a show called The Galaxy of Geeks and watching this, you better know that Luke Skywalker show. I mean, come on. At this point, you've watched enough. So,
in March, 3 months later,
we can say that. So, but that being said, just want to bring you back to your point was that now, and then we have WandaVision go off, another big success. Everybody's into it. So now I think going into this Falcon and Winter Soldier show is definitely going to be I think it's real. We're really going to be opening the floodgates here. And of course, we had the big announcements come in, right? At the Disney investors meeting with all the shows that they're slating. Right. But that's just what there's kind of on deck. This is just going to open up the possibilities. And I think that the lines between what's on streaming, like as far as Disney, once again, I'm keeping this to Disney Plus at the moment, what goes on Disney Plus versus what's released theatrically, the lines are going to become very blurred. And I think the big differences are going to be is that one is a major motion picture that's probably going to have a higher production value than the shows, but the show's production values are
pretty good.
Are pretty good. I mean, we talked about a lot about how Mandalorian season 2 stepped it up, and then WandaVision and the WandaVision show. I mean, I think they did a great job. I mean, they made it that it was self-contained, right, in this sort of one area, but yet I didn't look at that show and be like, oh wow, they really chinched out or they got cheap. Like, and from what I see from these trailers with this show, I mean, I think they're just. What you said is that Feige saying this is like we're watching 6 hours or 6 parts of a long film, a 6-hour film. Right. I think we're gonna get that like level of production quality. Mm-hmm. Like, I think we're gonna be like, wow, they could have totally released this in the theaters and we would have all gotten to see it. Like,
right. Yeah, I agree with you. And I mean, and if you think about it, for anyone that's still, well, I don't consider, I'm not going to watch it because it's not in the theater. It's not part of the canon,
But it is part of canon.
It is part of canon, but you still have people that have, especially with Star Wars, have that whole like thing that unless it's a feature full length thing, it isn't part of the whole thing. It just doesn't make sense to me, but.
It doesn't, because I think those days are gone. I think those days are gone when it comes to these giant properties.
Right. Yeah. 2021. People need to realize that the things have changed. The way that things are presented are not the same as they used to be.
I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.
So
it's true.
So the thing there is that and thank you, Han, for filling this in.
Yes, thank you, Han. Thank you.
So I do think that wherever we go with this, they've been great. I think WandaVision was great. I think Mandalorian was great. Will every series be great? Probably not. Will we like some more than others? Sure. But again, could you see a Din Djarin show up in a future Star Wars movie? Sure. Does he have to be, a big, huge character? No. He could play like a bit part where, he comes in and maybe he's part of, a casino arc, but one that makes sense.
Right, one that's better.
Right, one that's better. So could he be involved in 10 to 20 minutes of a future Star Wars movie? Perhaps. Sure. Do we need him to lead a full movie? I don't think so, unless they're gonna do an Avengers style Star Wars thing, and maybe that's something that we see in the future, where similar to what Marvel has done. Maybe we're going to see different vehicles with different characters, and we don't see a full-fledged Star Wars movie with all of the series characters, or we don't team them all up until we get, a movie out of them. Maybe that's that's where they go. It's worked for Marvel.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need every single character in every single movie. And sure, every movie has, you know, a few different team ups, but you don't have that huge ensemble of like 15 to 20 actors until you have that one massive team up. So, I mean, we could see that definitely happening. I mean, I could see that definitely happening somewhere down the line. So, getting back to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. But we're going to close the book on this, but still keep talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Because I definitely agree with you. I think that this just opens up the floodgates. I think we're going to see a lot more crossovers and one-offs, but they're all going to tie in really well. And I think that this is just proves that you don't just need to have giant theatrical releases to keep the storylines moving forward. You got plenty to fill in the gaps, and yet someone can still go to the movies and enjoy the film if they don't own Disney Plus.
Here's the other thing too. We're really at the beginning of all of this due to COVID.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, just think about it. Mandalorian came out last year. There was really only one big quote unquote series on Disney Plus for Marvel or for Disney.
Yeah.
And that kind of has fueled everything else to happen. So, I mean, again, we're at the inception of how they plan on rolling this out. I think a year from now, we'll be much farther along and we'll have a much better idea of how everything plays out. Also, because somehow or another, we're going to start to see these movies come out. We'll touch upon that a little bit later on, but they've got to quote unquote shit or get off the pot when it comes to some of these properties, because they're going to start knocking into the timelines and everything eventually, and they're not going to have a choice. You know, well, I'll save it for later on because it's going to tie into some other stuff, and I don't want to get too far off of this without getting done.
Right. So I think when we bring it back to the show, we're saying, you know, I think you and I are expecting really good things. I think that if you and I both loved WandaVision, and we're both like very much aligned with like, this looks great. This is like this is Marvel. It feels good. Yes, it was weird, but like it was done in a great way, and they tied it all together and set us up for the future. I expect the same thing for Falcon and Winter Soldier. I expect this to also be really good, tight. I expect it to probably even be more action-packed and probably a little bit more traditional Marvel movie style. That being said, as crazy, the thing that got out of hand with WandaVision, I think is also going to happen with this, where the rumors of who's going to be in and who's not going to be in, and overanalyzing every single little line, cameos, who's showing up, it's going to be out of control for 6 episodes. You know, it's gonna, I mean, it's what's made WandaVision fun to talk about. But I think it also, which we did address last week, also was the thing that why everybody kind of felt a little like, after the finale, because of all this talk.
Where's Patrick Stewart? Where's
Dr. X? Where Doctor Strange is 1,000% showing up in this.
Yes. So Chris is 2 for 2. No Luke Skywalker, and Doctor Strange is 1,000% gonna be in this.
It just goes to show I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm
1,000%
just a total geek that just has these fantasies in my head and then tries to sell it as a reality.
and that's what I think a lot of these leaks were. They were, you know, what people wanted to see.
Of course.
You know, it's funny because I've noted when I started coming up with what we were going to talk about for this episode, I kind of played with some of that as well, because some of the things that I got here for today's episode are crapshoots. I mean, flat out crapshoots, and I want to discuss them because they're fun to talk about with you.
It's fun to talk about.
Yeah, but again, you know, here's the thing. What was the meme?
The meme that
I have in mind. Yeah. Oh my God, the Thing is appearing next week. You know,
which may be true.
which
and that's how the Fantastic Four come into the Marvel universe.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, hey, we've thrown out, I'm guilty of this. She's going to open up a portal and then the X-Men are just going to pop out.
Everything. So it's what we were saying, going all the way back to Mysterio.
Yes.
He's opening a portal and the X-Men are all coming in.
Yeah. All at once. Hello. Are you guys open for business?
Excuse me. Are you guys the X-Men?
Yeah. We've been expecting you. What do you think the craziest cameo theory about the craziest cameo we're going to hear? Which one do you think it's going to be?
Craziest cameo theory. Cameo theory.
Yes.
I feel like everything in WandaVision was built around X-Men and Fantastic Four coming in, right? So, I the only other thing that would make it even crazier is the fact if you just start saying like, for whatever reason, like Jessica Jones or Matt Murdock are going to show up in this. This is how Daredevil is going to get introduced, which would make no sense at all. Or like Jessica Jones, or I feel like the thing that happened with WandaVision is, they were like, oh, physicists. So my physicist friend, so therefore it's like, oh, well, clearly it must be the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Reed Richards. It's got to be Reed Richards.
The thing that perpetuated the X-Men thing was Evan Peters showing up and being like, oh my God, that's Quicksilver. So everybody was like, oh, yeah, but it just turned out to not be that way, or at least that's what we think for now.
Right.
So I guess so I'll ask this back. Is this something where you see them maybe doing something like that again, where they bring in a character or an actor, I'll not say, but an actor who appeared in a Fox MCU or a Fox Marvel property, and then bring them in just to like swerve or get everybody excited, and then
But that gets people to watch. People don't understand that.
That does get people to watch.
As much as it frustrates us, that's part of the whole thing here is who's going to show up. Because in comics, we see people showing up all the time.
All the time. You get that one panel or the panel at the end. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's,
could we see what I was just going to say, because here's one that I feel like could be a perpetual thing or something that could come up, is because we know the relationship of both of these guys, especially Bucky to Wakanda. Like, does Shuri make an appearance?
Okay. The way that I thought you were going to answer that, or not Shuri, but I thought you were going to say Steve Rogers.
Well, but I think that's the thing everybody's thinking is like, do we get an old Steve Rogers? There's already been rumors that we're going to see a Steve Rogers funeral, or that Steve Rogers has died in this timeline because we see the old Steve Rogers. So maybe we get the flashback. Your favorite, the flashback episode, which episode 4 or 5 will be flashback.
As long as it, there's ways that they can do it that it won't annoy me, and there's ways that will not annoy me.
Will you be upset if Steve Rogers does not show up in this 6 hours?
Will I be upset?
Will it bother you?
No, it will not bother me if he doesn't show up. What if, here's a crazy rumor that I've read, what if he shows up as Captain Hydra, as the big bad at the end of the season?
As old Cap or as young Cap?
As young Cap from another reality.
From another reality.
Yeah, but he's, this leads into WandaVision, in that Wanda has opened up a portal and Captain Hydra now comes out from an alternate dimension.
And could that be the final scene we see at the end of the series, much like how we always get the end credit scene?
Right. And that's the thing too, is that would continue the whole Wanda thing, the whole multiverse thing, because I think there's going to be some sort of multiverse play going forward with everything.
I mean, you have a film called Multiverse of Madness coming out, so I mean, it just
Right.
It only makes sense that they're going to start doing it, and then all these rumors. Once again, we've talked about this almost every episode of Spider-Man 3 and the multiverse rumors and different Spider-Man showing up, and and the fact that we did get J. Jonah Jameson from the Fox or from the Sony verse showing up. Well, not that but
yeah, the Sam Raimi to separate it from.
You're right. From, the Sam Raimi verse,
the Amazing Spider-Man.
Right. The Raimi verse.
The Raimi verse, yeah. As opposed to Poof.
All right. So what are some other quick rumors that you've scanned?
Well, I mean, those are the biggest ones. Obviously,
I think the most plausible one is Steve Rogers.
Yeah, Steve, because of the connection. I mean, could we see it tie into WandaVision? Maybe. Could we see something tie into Loki, which is the series after this?
What about Nick Fury?
Nick Fury is another good one.
I mean, I know he's in space, but but it could be the other
in this. That's another one.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It could be Talos' version.
Could we see Jimmy Wang show up?
Right. Could he be the continuity of both? Like he's on this and then he gets called into the WandaVision? Like, so because if it is happening parallel,
right,
he's working with them and then gets called in to do that. Yeah.
Or maybe at the end, he shows up all of a sudden to help them. I know the one thing that has been confirmed is that we're getting multiple villains. We're getting Zemo, we're getting US Soldier, and we're getting the
That's
third
from the trailer, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the third?
I should have had this ready. It's
third villain. Confirmed.
Yeah. So
it's Zemo. You said US Soldier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anybody else knows what the third one is. Just write it in the comments, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's see.
I missed that one for sure.
Damn it. All three Falcon and Winter Soldier villains. Okay. So it is Baron Zemo, John Walker, US Agent. Flag Smasher.
Oh, Flag Smasher. Okay. All right. Do you think we get a small, like a Hank Pym show up, or
that's definitely small. Could be small. I mean, it's plausible,
right? No, but I think the probability of seeing like a Hulk is out. Obviously, no Thor. I don't think we're going to see anybody like of that level.
What about Rhodey?
Rhodey would definitely be somebody I could see showing up for sure. Maybe not the whole series, but
maybe at the end to help out.
If there's a team up situation, maybe Rhodey comes in to help out. Definitely, I don't think we see anything to do with Peter Parker or anything like that because that's just not too close because it's too close to that film. The only thing I could see happening, which it would be so weird.
Wait. I don't want. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
I need to set this up properly. Just because something that you just said. Peter Parker will be showing up in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Chris has said no Luke Skywalker, definitely Doctor Strange. So Peter Parker is a go for Falcon and Winter Soldier. All right, guys? Remember it. Chris broke it here first.
That's right, because I said he won't be.
Yes, means he will be.
means he will. That's code for means he will. He will absolutely not show up in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I've actually got a friend of yours who's actually sent me a quote for this as well.
All right.
That Yes, that was sent. Bib Fortuna sent that before his ultimate demise. He had Jabba sampled, and Jabba likes Chris's statement. So anyway, I'm sorry. Just keep going. I wanted to make sure that
I wanted to make sure you caught that. All right, and so I should forgot what I was going to say now.
Great.
I already said. I said Hank Pym.
Yeah.
I was going through the definite ones that I don't think. I said no Thor, no Peter Parker.
No Daredevil.
No Daredevil.
No
I don't
Hulk.
think we're going to see like a Valkyrie or a Hulk or anybody like that. No Guardians of the Galaxy. We won't see Captain Marvel. I definitely not Doctor Strange. But is it possible that they would do any kind of tie-ins from the Black Widow film with this? Well, I guess maybe not, because
theoretically it's next.
Which in a timeline, no, would be past because she's still alive. But I guess maybe how that movie ends, I don't know.
Yeah, but here's what I kind of alluded to before. They've already asked, is this definitely coming out in the theaters? And they keep saying yes. As of right now, it is. But if more theaters don't open, they may have to take it to Disney Plus, because we're at a point where there's already too much content recorded. It's not last year where they could hold off. We've got how many series that are ready to go, how many series that are shooting. And at this point, maybe it's not Scarlett Johansson, but it's the new Black Widow who somehow comes in. Also, we have, Sharon Carter is going to be featured in this as well.
Peggy Carter.
What's that?
Peggy?
No, Sharon.
Is it? Sharon. Sharon, her daughter.
Niece.
Yes. Niece. That's right, niece. Yeah. I was thinking of another one too that could be
that one's confirmed. Sharon's confirmed. Here's another thing that's kind of
do we get Ronan showing up? Well, he won't be as Ronan, but
right.
Or is it, because we know that his daughter, Hawkeye's daughter, is going to be having her own show? Do we get an introduction?
Well, it's both of them in that. I guess that's the lead into like what will ultimately be her.
It'll be her show, which will Young Avengers and all that. But could that be a possibility? That we get Hawkeye to show up in this show. Not the whole show, but maybe close to the end if we get a team up situation.
Right. Here's another interesting thing, because based on some of the stuff that I've read early on, it led me to believe that Baron Zemo might not be what we expected.
Is he Red Skull? No. Is Red Skull coming back on the show?
Is he Dormammu?
Dormammu.
Dormammu, I've come to fight. The scene that Caesar loved so much. Anyway, so this is my question. Maybe the person that teams, I don't know. I read that early on. It made me believe that Zemo's going to be in their custody, and much like Bucky and Winter Soldier, does Zemo turn to their side when he kind of realizes that, whatever happened in Sokovia wasn't their fault?
Right. Does he have a redemption?
Does he have redemption? Yes.
Possibly.
And by doing something like that, maybe no one else that we're talking about shows up, because the main focus will be on those two plus Zemo and maybe again, Agent 13, who is Sharon Carter. I don't know. That's just me throwing that out there.
So listen, I'm very excited to watch this show. I think the trailers have been great. I mean, this was supposed to be the first one.
Yeah.
And, with COVID and all that, WandaVision wound up, being ready to go first. So, but I don't think that that's going to ruin anything with how it is, especially if this is just running concurrently. I think we're going to be fine. So I'm excited to watch it, man. I'm excited to watch it. I think it's going to be cool. The trailers got me excited. So.
Maybe what you said before makes sense. Maybe Wang appears in this just because originally he was supposed to appear in this and then in WandaVision, but maybe somehow they word it so that it's, 6 months before the Hex incident, or 6 months before the Westview incident.
Or maybe we learn the identity of the person who is in witness protection in this series. Because that's whoever that was there, and then they kind of disappeared, and Wang's in charge of that.
Beekeeper?
Yeah, Beekeeper.
So, I mean, there's a few things, and we saw
they made a big deal about it, and then they did, and then it just went away. Well, I mean, not a big deal, but I mean, it just
they dropped the breadcrumb,
right? And you're like, okay, like who could that be? Like, does it mean anything, or is it just a throwaway?
Yeah, and the other thing too is there were a lot of characters that were left behind there. Do we know? Do we know?
Someone's ringing.
Yeah, of course. No, that's on my end. Yeah, I'm live streaming. Please, I've advertised it everywhere. Please call me.
And there it is. It's all right. The show goes on.
Give me a break. The problem is that he's going to call like 28 times now. So, whatever. All right, I think I got rid of it.
Okay. and back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, back to our regularly scheduled program.
So,
so there were a lot of characters there. I mean, like we talked about before, people that went in and out of the Hex. Could we see a Photon show up again? I mean, I don't know. There's so many things, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yep, we will have to wait and see. So it all kicks off as of this recording tomorrow, March 19th. So we did touch on our next topic a little bit, which was Black Widow in the theaters. Whether or not it's going to be in the theaters, or I think at this point it's definitely going to be in the theaters. It's just whether or not does Disney Plus drop it at the same time, or like a weekend after, or a week later, because they're going to wait to see what the numbers are from theatrical release, which I feel like that's going to be what's going to happen. They're going to release it, and they're going to see what the numbers are and see where it's at, because if it doesn't have a very strong open weekend, then you can guarantee they'll drop it on streaming like the next week, or they'll give it 2 weeks in the theater and then drop it on streaming. And I think that's going to be, I think that'll be the play. And they're going to, obviously, this is a whole wait and see. I mean, New York is opening theaters, or has opened theaters again, at least to 50% capacity. Other states are fully open, such as, Florida, Texas is fully open. I think a couple other states are fully open. Obviously, I'm talking about the United States here. This doesn't take into account the global. But, we have other countries that are locking down again. So,
yeah, it's not opening in Europe anywhere.
Right. And Europe, I mean, we always talk about the United States, but the world, the European, the global market is huge. I mean, talk about the US, but a lot of the films make a bulk of their money overseas.
Yeah. There are a lot of movies that are saved due to, what they do in Europe and in Asia. It isn't only the US anymore. There are movies that Venom, for example.
Yes. Great example.
The bulk of the money that Venom made was outside of the U.S.
Yeah. Even Avatar. I mean, we talk about Avatar, and they just re-released it again because of how popular it has been in Asian countries.
Right.
How well it's performed. It's a beloved movie. It's now again been re-released.
and I think all of this is a test. We've talked about it before, where the theatrical experience, or just going to the movies, may just be an event thing where, they'll roll out an Avatar every so many years. They'll roll out the classic Star Wars movies every so many years. And a Black Widow movie, if the numbers aren't great, as you're saying, straight to Disney. It's straight to Disney streaming because, you know, a lot of people will sign. A lot of the people that jumped off ship after Mandalorian or after, you know, WandaVision will probably, you know, hey, this is the only way that I'm going to watch it. Okay, so I'll sign up for a month. You know, I think that a lot of people are going to end up doing that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a while for people to get back to going to the theaters the way they used to.
Right.
And then on top of that, just opening and being accessible. But I can't see the theatrical business coming back fast.
Right. I don't either.
It will come back. I mean, as long as there's movie theaters and as long as it will come back. I just don't think it's going to be like this overnight thing. It's going to be a slower. No. It's going to be a slow.
It's going to take a year to 2 years to come back at least.
And meanwhile, you know, these streaming services are going to be pumping out this content and getting it out there, and then it's just going to be a choice of, do I really want to leave my house? Or yes, I'm going to pick and choose the film I want to go see rather than going like every weekend or, you know, once or twice a month. Maybe I'm going to go to movies once or twice a year.
Which is why it makes sense to release like an Avatar or an Endgame, because you're not going to report losses. You're going to say, hey, we just broke the record of, you know, most tickets sold to a movie. So even if only 10,000 people have seen it,
yeah,
you know, if it was a new movie, it would be considered a bust.
Right.
But a lot of the entertainment business is smoke and mirrors, and it's selling what they want to sell you. Because let's be honest, if, you know, Star Wars in 1977 if the tickets were selling for $20 a pop, similar to what maybe Avatar costs in some places nowadays, what would the box office look like? You know, it needs to be proportionate. That's why the figures that they throw out there are preposterous. Oh, well, it's now broke. The full box office is right. I used to get tickets to the movies for 99 cents. So how can I compare the gross box office of a movie that, you know, was 99 cents to $3 when, you know, a bag of M&Ms costs more than the most expensive ticket from 1977. So I mean, it's all, you got to take it with a grain of salt, basically.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's it.
And they got to see how they're going to spin Black Widow. You know, how do they want to spin? Because it's really, if you think about it, it's a no-lose situation, because they can blame everything on COVID and say, hey, we expected giant numbers, but due to COVID, we're going to, you know, the fans have spoken and we're going to throw it up there on Disney Plus. Maybe the first month it's going to be similar to Mulan. First month, you want to see it, you got to pay $20 or you wait.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to see it. And actually,
I think Mulan was like $30 or something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, could they go that route too?
I definitely think so. I mean, they got to make their money back on this. But the thing is, once again, it's like you put that on there and people that aren't subscribing or stay subscribing, because once Falcon and Winter Soldier's over, like, I don't know what's next. Is it Loki? But how long is the wait?
It's a week. It's
okay.
Like
so so it's like this. So it's not bad. But if they want to keep people on the service, it's, you know, can they make back more money in subscriptions? But I mean, it is a film, so is it? You know, maybe they bundle it. I don't know.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do. I mean, I think it's all 1,000% based on what's going to happen when they release it to theaters and what the performance is going to be like in that first weekend is going to tell them where it's going to be at. And then from there, I guarantee the announcement's going to come shortly after that. They're going to be releasing this on Disney Plus or video on demand or whatever. Right thereafter. The thing is, people want to go see Black Widow. It's a lot of pent up demand. It's going to be a cool, definitely a high end action film. Right. Everybody loves Black Widow. I mean, I'm a big Black Widow fan. This movie is way too late in my eyes. They should have made a Black Widow movie ages ago before they decided to kill her off, because she deserved her own film. Because I think she's just that cool of a character, and Scarlett Johansson plays her great, and you got a great cast in here. So, you know, I tell you, if there is a movie I will go see in the theater, it would be that one. If I was to pick my first movie to go back in, it'll probably be that one.
Okay.
I would go see it. I also feel a little bit better because I've had the vaccine, so I'm in a different boat. But I am, I'm sitting in a different, I would go to the theater and go see it. And I know how clean they've been doing the theaters here in Rockaway. Right. They've been doing a good job cleaning. I know people have gone and said it's like spotless. So
I can arrange that.
Yeah, I can arrange that.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on.
Moving on. Deadpool 3 rumors. Robert Rodriguez is rumored to be directing Deadpool 3.
Okay.
And apparently this comes from Disney being absolutely thrilled with his involvement in The Mandalorian.
Listen, I'm a giant fanboy, and I loved his when I found out he directed the Boba Fett episode, I was over the moon because I was like, this is such Robert Rodriguez. It was his style, and it was a perfect match. And I was really even more excited than to find out that he's going to be he's going to be behind the Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a great pairing, and he's also a big Star Wars fan, and he's like us. He really is. I've heard of he is totally like a fan like us. So I feel good about it, and I like his style. I always have. I know some people bag on him, but I think he's great. I think he's got a great story. I've read his books, and I am a fan. So I think it's a good mix there. Deadpool 3, I think he will be good, but I'd be interested to see who's once again writing that script, which I don't know because the script is so important to Deadpool 3. And the thing is, Ryan Reynolds is a producer on it. It's like Ryan Reynolds is like he has creative control, which I like because I think Ryan Reynolds is a talented guy. He is good with dialogue. I know he writes a bit, and he does pretty good with like really working with good talent because he does have a lot invested into the Deadpool series. Like this is his baby, and he wants to see it be successful. And I think he wants the continuity of it to feel like, yes, even though I'm working with a different director, that it still feels like a Deadpool film.
Right.
So I think it's a good pairing.
Yeah, and I think, he's championed Deadpool for so long that I don't think he's going to want to do anything that's going to go astray with this. He definitely doesn't want another Green Lantern.
No, not experience. At all.
Even though they're starting to rumor.
They are starting a rumor. I've seen that rumor as well.
But, I mean, I don't think Marvel would allow him to appear, probably. It'll probably be one of those things, hey, do you want to do Deadpool? Because if you do, you're not doing Green Lantern.
Yeah.
So I think if he has to choose between both, I think the obvious answer is that he'll end up doing Deadpool.
Yep, me too. So I like this pairing. I think it's good. I sign off on it. You have my sign off.
He signs off.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Wrong one. That's not. Wait.
I like the sound of that.
There we go.
There you go. That's a good one.
Okay.
All right. Moving on.
Millarworld. We've been talking about Millarworld for how many years? 2 years.
I feel like it's been 2 years. I mean, actually, it was back in 2017.
Well, when they
they signed, that's when Netflix acquired the Millarworld stuff.
And it kind of coincides when some of the. No, I guess that was before that. I was going to say when the Netflix Marvel stuff kind of broke up because that was one of the reasons that they put behind it is that they were developing it. But you sent me a link today.
Yep. Yeah, it's every. This is coming from whatsonnetflix.com. It's a blog that was posted. It's actually a little bit of an older blog. It's back from February because I was like, you know what? I haven't heard what's going on with Millarworld in a while. So I decided, let me look it up. And lo and behold, there is some Millarworld activity, at least as of when this was written. It was published on February 2nd. It was posted. Coming on from whatsonnetflix.com. And so we have some updates.
Yeah, so let's do some quick hits here and go over some of the series real quick, and I'll mention the state that they're in. So I'll mention the title and the state that they're in. Jupiter's Legend, status, post-production. Super Crooks, in production. American Jesus, in development. Well, they have Bad Religion soundtrack.
That'd be amazing.
Will Sweaty Vetter show up? The Magic Order, on hold.
Okay.
Sharky the Bounty Hunter, in development.
Okay.
Huck, in development. Empress, in development. Prodigy, in development. Space Bandits, as you guessed it, in development. So there's essentially one of these that's two of these. Let's see, post-production. So one is in post-production and one is in production. And everything else is in development except for the Magic Order, which is on hold. So, so it means we're getting 2 series at least.
Right. Getting at least 2 series. Well, I mean, they're all in development, but at least 2 seem to be really, really close.
Yeah.
To being, I mean, we're basically saying won't release until late spring. Jupiter's Legacy is looking like it won't release until late spring 2021, even though filming's been wrapped, I'm sure, post-production.
Right.
So, you know, there's all that. So we'll see, which I got a feeling will wind up just getting pushed till by like fall or summer or fall.
Yeah. And Super Crooks is the other one is an anime series.
Right. But no timeline on that.
Right.
So
and I'm seeing that, the Sharky the Bounty Hunter's a movie. Huck is a movie. Empress is a movie. Prodigy's to be determined. So is Space Bandits. So, I mean, again, it's probably going to depend on how good this series does. This first series, they never announced their numbers, so who knows?
Nope, never. They never do. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, their classic move is to do 3 seasons and cancel. So, or yes. If it just doesn't perform at all, then cancel. So, we'll see.
But imagine that first series tanks. Do they cancel everything?
I don't know. I mean, maybe not. Because there's different properties. It just may not resonate with the crowd. I mean, they're not going to stop. I think just different properties. I mean, it may make them take a different look at something, especially if it hasn't gone into production yet. Right. To maybe say, oh, geez, audience didn't respond to this or that, and they may do some more tweaking. But because one flops doesn't necessarily mean they're all going to be stinkers,
Right. True.
So.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
And to wrap things up here, you sent me some other exciting news today.
Yes, some other exciting news. We are officially on Clubhouse. For those of you, I'll do a very quick wrap up on what Clubhouse is. So for those of you in the know, Clubhouse is a new app. It's an audio only app. It's almost like a live podcasting, or actually more like a conference call type of a setup. It's an app that's only available right now to iPhone users, and it is an invite-only app because it is in beta. However, the founders plan on releasing it worldwide, or at least to Android phones, starting in April. Spring has been the timeline they've been talking about. So we shall see. There are about 10 million users on the app right now, and it is growing. So Clubhouse, basically, you are allowed to. The whole point is that anybody can join with the invite, and you can run rooms, is what they call them, on top of any topic whatsoever. So anything that you're possibly interested in, anything at all, as long as you're not being hateful in any way or discriminatory in any way, you can run a room. And they also have the ability of running clubs inside a Clubhouse. So that means you can create a themed club, have members, invite people, do rooms under that club. So Galaxy of Geeks has created a club on Clubhouse in which we will be running rooms, opening rooms, as they say, about different topics, of course, the things that we talk about here on the show. So it'll be basically a live version of this podcast, but with the ability to have a lot of interaction. We could get into panel discussions. We could do interviews. We could just throw out topics. So if we want to talk instantly about, say, the Justice League, the Snyder Cut, we could open up a room and everybody can talk about it. We could have a really cool discussion about your thoughts and all that on Snyder Cut. We could talk about really anything. Black Widow. We could talk about the Falcon Winter Soldier first episode. We could do reactions to trailers. So it just allows us to basically create an online community where we can all interact. So much like how we have the Facebook group, this is much more at an audio level where we can all just sort of have a nice, really cool discussion about the things that we all geek out about. So if you are on Clubhouse, all you have to do is search for Galaxy of Geeks in the group, which you'll see it's Galaxy. You can search for people and you can search for clubs. You want to search for Galaxy of Geeks Club, and you just follow, and that's it. And then when we post new rooms and things like that, you'll see it. You'll get notified every time we do that, and we'll be putting stuff in the schedule. And you can also follow Victor and I on the app as well, so that way you definitely stay notified when we're talking in other rooms and all that. But that is our plan, and it's a new thing. We'll see where it goes. I mean, we'll see how the longevity of it lasts, but it's been something that's fun, and we've both on the app for a little bit, and we were testing the waters, doing a Star Wars room. So I think we're ready now to amp it up a little bit and have some more fun. So
take it to the next level.
Take it to the next level. So if you're on Clubhouse right now and you're already actively using it and this sounds great to you, give the club a follow and you'll get notified. If you want to be on Clubhouse, but you don't have an invite and you have an iPhone, you can get in contact with Victor or I. We do have invites that we can give out and get you on the app, because as we run out of invites, they do replenish you with a certain number of invites to keep inviting other people. So, you can just get a hold of us right on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, wherever. So we're pretty easy to find. That's it.
Yeah, that is basically it. So, some famous last words.
It's over, Johnny.
It's over, Johnny. That's it. So I want to thank everybody so much for watching us today, watching us live, participating. As always, we always appreciate everybody that comes back and watches the replay of these shows and listens to the audio versions, which you can get anywhere on whatever podcast streaming service you subscribe to. And all these are always on YouTube as well, so you can always watch the video versions there too. We do have a website, which you can visit at galaxygeeks.net. And we also have all the content housed there too, right? Everything's there.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're uploading information regarding the latest podcast episodes and the previous week's live streams every Thursday to kind of remind you guys, hey, there's a live stream tonight. So if I want to join, if I want to chat, if I want to discuss, it's just a nice little reminder without, giving you a kick in the ass to figure out what's going out. So, just a friendly reminder to find out.
What are you doing?
That's it.
Yes, and we do live stream every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can always catch that on YouTube and also on Facebook as well.
That is correct.
Yep.
So, and until the end of the month, this week and next week, for anyone in the UK or in Europe, it's an hour earlier than usual. So instead of being 11 p.m. for those of you in the UK, it's 10, and for those of you in Central European time, it will be 11 p.m. next week instead of midnight. So there you go.
All right. Excellent. Awesome. Very good. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll let Victor take us out.
As usual, as I like to say with my melodious voice, wait. I forgot. Shit, I can't do what I wanted to do.
Sorry.
All right. Well, we're gonna end a little different this week, but I do want to say, as usual, I want to say see ya until next time here on the Galaxy of Geeks live stream.
Punch it.